Time to have another Hillside Chat. I was intending for this to be a little more regular than it is, for just general thoughts of different things I've been doing. But whatever, things happen as they happen. Today I want to chat about Ventrac, and specifically the Tough Cut. I have a 50-hour review video uploaded to YouTube, but I haven't made it public yet because it's a little longer than I want it to be. So I think I'm going to redo it and call it a 75-hour video, because I think I'm about 72 hours now, because I keep delaying on making that other one public. Anyway, I'm impressed with this Ventrac still, and the Tough Cut, it's been hard on belts. I think some of that has been me not understanding how everything's supposed to be set. So been using this fourth belt now for maybe about 6-7 hours. I should have recorded hours instead of dates, because things go by very quickly on the hours, much quicker than the dates. But I have a small series where I'm working on the other side of this tree line that I'm starting. I got trying to do about a half an hour a day. Today was an hour, because I just got going and I was hoping to catch that sunset over my shoulder, but I didn't realize how much time had passed, so I missed the sunset. But this Tough Cut does really well. It does have limits. I mean, obviously, doesn't matter how big of a machine you have, you're going to have limits. There are some ways you can take something a little bigger than you should and just kind of knock it over and cut it and let it sit there. Let it sit for a little while, get, old. Maybe next year come mulch it up, I would guess. I do that, and then I take the ones that are a little bigger than you should, and I can pick them up, throw them in brush piles. I got several brush piles scattered around the place. 3 main big ones. One's really big, the size of the other 2, because I had a dozer come in and do some knocking over of an area of trees, maybe about an acre. And so I just, those ones that the Tough Cut can push over, but I know that I don't want to push it too much. I'll have it push them over and just lop it off at ground level, and then I'll back up and take the tree and drag it over into my pile. You don't ever see me doing it on video, because I'll go around those ones, and I don't do it very often. I don't like pushing this Tough Cut. I don't want to go through more belts than I already am. So I started also, when it's just brush, I'll do my normal 7/8 of a width cut. You cut from left side over to the right tire, or from right side over to the left tire, and just leave that last little bit open, because like I said in other videos, things, when you push them over, sometimes they tilt to the side. And you know what, if I mow an area twice that's a foot wide, who cares? Yes, I guess if I was trying to be super efficient and I was getting paid by the hour, that it would make a difference, but this is my place. I don't get paid for what I'm doing. This just gives me satisfaction of knowing that I've cleaned it up. So for the most part, I'm trying not to push it, but if there's any trees, bigger than their inch, and even whenever there's a small clump of their inches, you'll see in some of the videos, if there's a small clump of multiple trees, I'll try and just edge in and take the edge of the Tough Cut and split them and knock over some, and then on another pass I'll knock over some more, and then on the last pass I'll get the last of them. I don't want to just bulldoze into the whole pile anymore. Maybe that's part of why I had problem with earlier belts. I was told by Ventrac proper, can't remember who, 1-800 Ventrac support, whatever the number is, talking to them, and I was told that it's rated for, the Tough Cut is rated for 1-inch continuous. Not quite sure what that means. If I had 100 1-inch trees in a 3 square foot area, is that 1-inch continuous? I can't imagine that's the case. Is it just a row, a single row of 1-inch trees? Like you just took a bunch of pencils and stuck them in the ground? Is that 1-inch continuous? But the words they used was 1-inch continuous. Maybe that just means I'm allowed to have one 1-inch tree under the Tough Cut at all times. Don't know. So I'm just taking it easier with it. And if it's got a decent amount of trees in there, I'll split them or take a half pass, watching it. But the Tough Cut's doing a good job. I'm impressed with it. It is letting me get into places, and the articulation, I'm not going to talk about Ventrac today, but the articulation is phenomenal. Some of these videos that I'm going to be uploading of me cleaning up the other side of this hill, pay attention, if you can, to the articulation. I know this GoPro has the whole image stabilization thing, and I really like the image stabilization, so I don't think you can get a full appreciation for how, I have no idea what this machine can do, and then the tough cuts floating in the front, but it's like you're got a little salamander or something going through these stump holes with this tough cut, right? I mean, that tough cut will go, well, you got your rear wheels or front wheels and tough cut will dip down in, and your other wheels are still going along, and then the front wheels will dip down, and then because it's a stump hole, the tough cut's starting to fold back up while the front wheels are going into the hole, and then your back wheels, you know, it's just kind of, and then if you're not smack dab square on, you know, if you're hitting half of the hole, then the machine starts doing weird, it's really weird when you're sitting there leaning this way and you're steering over here. It's it is something. And it is also amazing how quickly turning around on 15, 16, 17 degrees where you're just going down and you turn, still cautious because it's still nervous, but it's amazing how you get used to that. I'm sure many of you out there are like, turning around on 15 degrees, nothing. I'm not there. I know this machine can do a whole lot more than I'm pushing it. I try not to go beyond 22, 24 degrees if I can avoid it. Now, unless I'm going straight down, right, or straight up. But if I have any angle, right, if I'm going straight down and straight up, okay, fine. But if there's any angle to my down, I don't like being above 20 degrees. And sometimes because I'm going around these trees that are too thick for the tough cut, you have to get around them. And you'll see in this video that I recorded today, there is some really gnarly articulation, and just shows how this tough cut can get in between the trees. So I'm impressed with the tough cut. I'll talk about the power rake next time, but I'm also impressed with the power rake. If you had a business, I don't have a business so I can't speak to it, but if you had a business, I don't know which one would make you more money. They both do a really good job around here. That's about what I think of this tough cut. It's got its limits, and I think that the belt issues were probably self-induced. Someone made a comment that Ventrac belts are stronger than your average belt. I have never in my life, 2.5, 3 months of owning a Ventrac, seen a 162-inch Ventrac belt. It was delivered to my property with a 162-inch Continental belt. So either my dealer robbed me and traded a high-dollar Ventrac belt for a cheaper Continental belt to save some money, and that's why I started having problems, because Ventrac belts are steel lined or something. I mean, all the belts I look at are they're all reinforced with little beads in them like tires. But I have never seen a Ventrac belt on the tough cut on my machine, even on delivery. So if I should have had a Ventrac belt, someone out there in Ventrac land needs to go do quality control on who I bought this machine from, and you know who that was. And if I was supposed to get a Ventrac belt on my tough cut, actually you take the belt, you hold it up and you read it, Ventrac. If I was supposed to have one, I'd appreciate to know, because mine, you picked it up, you read it, it said Continental. No confusing those two words. Anyway, I gotta go get a couple things out of my shipping container so that I can go do some work down in the cabin. So we will wrap it up with that and keep it as short as we can.